Imagine holding a piece of history in your hand, a small, old, dirty, wheat pennies. These aren't just old coins. They are rare treasures hiding in plain sight, tucked away in jars, drawers, or forgotten collections. Some are so rare, collectors would pay fortunes for just one glance. From misstruck errors to impossible to find dates, these humble pennies. Imagine finding a coin tucked away in a dusty old jar, hidden in the back of your attic for decades. You wipe off the grime, and there it is, a 1939 wheat penny. At first, it looks ordinary, maybe even worthless. But what if I told you that single penny could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars, maybe even life-changing money if it has the right secrets hidden in plain sight? Today, we're diving deep into one of the most mysterious and exciting coins for collectors, the 1939 Old Dirty Wheat Penny. What makes it so special? Why are coin collectors chasing it like buried treasure? And most importantly, how can you spot one and possibly hold a hidden fortune in the palm of your hand? The story of the 1939 wheat penny begins in the midst of history. The United States was coming out of the Great Depression, and coins like this were everyday objects, passed hand to hand, tucked into pockets, wallets, and jars. Few people imagined that decades later, the coins they casually spent would be worth thousands of dollars, coveted by collectors all over the world. But here's where it gets really interesting. Many of these pennies survived the years, buried in dirt, lost in couch cushions, or forgotten in old coin rolls. And it's precisely that old, dirty look that can hide a shocking treasure beneath the grime. Now, let's talk numbers. A standard 1939 wheat penny in average circulated condition might fetch just a few dollars. But if your penny has the right features, rare mint marks, unusual coloring, or a striking error, you could be holding big money in your hands. Some of these pennies have sold at auction for hundreds, even thousands of dollars. One auction in 2021 saw a 1939 wheat penny with a rare double-die obverse fetch over $3,500. Imagine that. An ordinary coin from your pocket turning into life-changing value overnight. But how do you know if your coin is the one? First, check the date, 1939. Next, the mint mark. If it's an S, D, or no mint mark at all, each variety can drastically change the value. Look at the color. Is it a dull brown, or does it have a rich, reddish copper tone? That reddish hue often indicates a coin in higher condition, something collectors call red or red-brown, and it can multiply the value. Then, examine the rim and edges carefully. Any irregularities, like doubling or uneven spacing, could signal a rare error variety. And trust me, these tiny details can make the difference between a few dollars and life-changing money. Speaking of errors, the 1939 wheat penny has some of the most fascinating varieties that can send collectors into a frenzy. The most famous is the double-die penny, where the date or lettering appears doubled. These errors are incredibly rare, and when they show up in auctions, they command staggering prices. A 1939 double-die obverse penny can sell for $2,500 to $4,000 or more, depending on condition. Then there's the off-center strike, where the design is partially missing. These coins are visually stunning and highly sought after. Some off-center wheat pennies have sold for over $10,000. Even a small rim crack or die chip can create a one-of-a-kind coin, hidden in plain sight for decades. Here's a shocking fact. Many of these old, dirty pennies are hiding in circulation right now. In fact, a collector in Ohio recently bought a handful of wheat pennies at a local coin shop, thinking they were just common change. One of those pennies? A 1939 S double die. That coin later sold at auction for $3,200. The lesson? That jar of old coins in your attic or your pocket change could be a hidden treasure trove of big money. And here's where the story gets even more suspenseful. Not all 1939 pennies are worth the same. Condition is everything. A coin with sharp details, minimal wear, and original luster could be worth hundreds or thousands more than one that's been heavily circulated. Collectors look for clear wheat stalks on the reverse, crisp lettering, and a clean surface even if the coin is dirty, meaning it's aged naturally without harsh cleaning. The wrong cleaning can destroy value, so handle your potential treasure with care. Let's take a moment to reset, because here's another jaw-dropping detail. A rare 1939 penny error involves the re-punched mint mark. If the D or S mint mark was stamped twice, slightly offset, the coin becomes instantly collectible. These repunched mint marks are like the coin's secret signature, a little quirk from the mint that could make it a prize worth thousands of dollars. And unlike gold or silver, a single wheat penny is small, portable, and can fit in your pocket, but could hold enough life-changing value to change your collection forever. You might be wondering, how common are these coins? Wheat pennies from 1939 are more common than some older rare dates, but it's the errors, the mint mark anomalies, and the high-grade examples that turn a common coin into a hidden treasure. Even a 1939 penny with an unusually deep red color, almost flawless surface, or striking detail can fetch upwards of $1,000 at auction. And in a market where collectors are always hunting for rare finds, one small coin can spark intense bidding wars. Now, let me share an inspirational story. A retiree in the UK inherited a box of old coins from his grandfather. Most were dull, dirty pennies, but one 1939 wheat penny caught his eye. He cleaned it gently, not too much, and took it to a local coin dealer. The dealer's eyes widened. It was a high-grade 1939s with a faint double die. The coin sold at auction for $4,000. That single penny turned decades of forgotten pocket change into life-changing money in just one sale. And that's exactly why every coin collector should check every old penny. They could be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. By now, you probably understand that this isn't just about pennies, it's about uncovering hidden treasures. Every 1939 wheat penny has a story. Every error or mint mark tells a tale of the U.S. Mint at work, and every coin has the potential to be big money in the right hands. And remember, it only takes one coin to change your collection forever. So, here's the call to action. Grab that jar of old coins, sort through your pennies, and take a closer look at every 1939 wheat penny. Check the date, the mint mark, the color, the rim, and look for any anomalies. Even the tiniest error could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands if you've uncovered a rare variety. And if you find one, document it, get it graded, and maybe one day, you could see your coin sell for life-changing money at auction. Before we wrap up, here's a cliffhanger. What if I told you there's an ultra-rare 1939 wheat penny with a die clash error that's so rare it's only been documented a handful of times in history, and the last one sold for nearly $10,000 that could be in circulation right now, waiting to be discovered by someone with eagle eyes? Could it be in your collection? Only one way to find out. Don't wait, check your pennies, examine every detail, and uncover your hidden treasure. And if you want to see more jaw-dropping coins and the stories behind them, hit that subscribe button, because we uncover the coins worth big money every single week. Your next life-changing. Imagine digging through an old jar of coins in your attic and pulling out a tiny, dusty 1940 wheat penny. At first glance, it looks like any other coin, grimy and forgotten. But what if I told you that this single penny could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars, maybe even life-changing money, if it has the right hidden secret? Today, we're diving into the world of the 1940 old dirty wheat penny, a coin that's fascinated collectors for decades and could be hiding a hidden treasure in your own collection. The story of the 1940 wheat penny begins at a fascinating time in history. The United States was just emerging from the shadows of the Great Depression, and pennies like this were the lifeblood of everyday transactions. They passed hand to hand in grocery stores, tucked into pockets, or stuffed into jars without a second thought. No one imagined that these humble coins would become sought-after collector's items, capable of commanding big money at auction decades later. And here's the mysterious part. Many of these pennies survived the years not because they were protected, but because they were forgotten, buried in drawers, lost in couches, or hidden in old coin rolls. The very dirt, and where that make them seem worthless, could be concealing life-changing value. Now, let's talk numbers. A standard 1940 wheat penny in average condition might sell for just a few dollars. But a 1940 penny with the right mint mark, color, or error asterisk can sell for hundreds or thousands. Take, for instance, the 1940s mint mark penny in high-grade condition. It has sold at auction for over $1,200, or a 1940 penny with a rare double die obverse. Those have gone for $3,000 or more asterisk. Imagine holding a coin that could turn pocket change into life-changing money overnight. But how can you tell if your coin is worth more than it seems? First, Check the date, 1940. Then look for the mint mark, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or no mint mark for Philadelphia. Each variation carries its own value and rarity. Then examine the color. A deep, reddish copper color could indicate a coin in higher condition, while a dull brown coin may still hold value if it has the right error or variety. Check the rim and edges carefully. Any doubling, irregularity, or die crack could signal a rare and highly valuable error. Every tiny detail can mean the difference between a coin worth a few dollars and a hidden treasure worth thousands. Speaking of errors, the 1940 wheat penny has some of the most fascinating varieties for collectors. One of the most coveted is the doubled die obverse, where the date or lettering appears doubled. These pennies are rare, and when they appear at auction, they fetch staggering prices. A 1940 double die penny in decent condition can sell for $2,500 to $4,000. Then there's the off-center strike, a coin where the design isn't perfectly centered. These coins are visually striking, rare, and highly collectible. Some off-center 1940 pennies have sold for over $8,000. Even a small die crack or repunched mint mark can transform a common penny into a life-changing discovery. Here's a jaw-dropping story. A collector in Texas recently bought a handful of wheat pennies at a flea market, thinking they were just common coins. One of them, a 1940 D with an unusually sharp doubled die, later sold for $3,200 at auction. That's a coin that was just lying around as pocket change, turned into big money in one simple sale. It's a reminder, the coins you dismiss as old and dirty could hold incredible value if you know what to look for. Now, let's reset attention with another shocking fact. Some 1940 pennies show repunched mint marks, where the D or S was stamped twice slightly off-center. These coins are extremely rare and instantly collectible. Auction results for high-grade repunched mint mark 1940 pennies range from $2,000 to $5,000 depending on condition. And unlike gold or silver, a single wheat penny is tiny, portable, and could hold hidden treasure in the palm of your hand. Collectors also obsess over condition. Even dirty, pennies can be valuable if they retain original detail. Look for well-defined wheat stalks on the reverse, crisp lettering, and a relatively clean surface. Avoid aggressive cleaning, it can destroy the coin's value. A 1940 wheat penny in uncirculated condition, with deep red coloring, can sell for over $1,500, proving that condition, color, and rarity work together to create life-changing money. Here's another shocking auction fact. In 2019, a 1940 S double die with nearly flawless detail sold for $4,200, sparking excitement across the collector community. And that's just one of many examples. Every small detail matters. The tiniest anomaly could turn your common penny into a prize that collectors fight over. The lesson is clear. Your old coins could be hiding hidden treasure right now. Every 1940 wheat penny has a story. Every mint mark, color, and die variation adds to its history and value. And for the lucky collector who recognizes it, a single coin could mean big money and life-changing fortune. Before we wrap up, here's a cliffhanger. There's an ultra-rare 1940 penny with a die clash error that has only appeared a handful of times in recorded history. The last one sold for nearly $10,000. Could it be sitting unnoticed in your coin jar right now, waiting to be discovered? There's only one way to find out. Stop what you're doing and imagine this. You're digging through a dusty old jar of coins in your attic, and you pull out a 1944 wheat penny. It's grimy, worn, old, and dirty. But what if I told you that tiny coin could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars, maybe even life-changing money if it's the right variety? Today, we're uncovering the shocking secrets of the 1944 old dirty wheat penny, a coin that has collectors in the US and UK racing to find hidden treasure in plain sight. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and why this little penny could be big money in your hands. The story of the 1944 wheat penny is tied to one of the most dramatic times in history. World War II was raging, and the US Mint faced massive shortages of copper. That year, most pennies were made using recycled shell casings, giving them a slightly different color and texture. Many of these coins went unnoticed, slipping through the cracks of everyday life. People carried them in pockets, spent them in stores, and tossed them into jars, completely unaware that decades later, some of these pennies would be worth life-changing sums of money. Now, let's talk about value. A standard 1944 wheat penny in average condition might only be worth $1 or $2. But if your penny has certain rare errors or unique features, you could be holding big money in your hands. For example, a 1944 D or S wheat penny in high-grade condition can sell for hundreds or even over $1,000. And if you happen to find the infamous 1944 bronze penny, made by mistake using leftover 1943 copper planchets, that coin can fetch $100,000 or more at auction. Yes, you heard that right. One penny turning into life-changing money So how do you know if your 1944 penny is the treasure everyone is hunting for? Start with the date, 1944. Then check the mint mark, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or no mint mark for Philadelphia. Next, look at the color. Most 1944 pennies are reddish-brown, but if you see a dark, rich copper color, that might indicate a higher-grade coin. Examine the rim and edges carefully. Any doubling, off-center strike, or unusual die marks could signal a rare error worth serious money. Collectors know that tiny details mean everything, and one small difference can turn a common penny into a hidden treasure. Here's a shocking fact. The 1944 wheat penny has multiple error varieties that make collectors' hearts race. First, there's the doubled die obverse, where the date or lettering appears slightly doubled. These coins are rare, and in high grade, can sell for $2,500 to $4,000. Then there's the off-center strike, a coin where the design isn't perfectly centered. Some off-center 1944 pennies have sold for over $8,000, and don't forget about repunched mint marks, where the D or S appears stamped twice. These can fetch $2,000 to $5,000 depending on condition. Let's reset attention with a jaw-dropping auction story. In 2020, a collector in New York stumbled upon a 1944 S wheat penny with a faint double die while sorting through coins he thought were worthless. He had it professionally graded, and at auction, it sold for $3,200. Just one small penny, long forgotten, turned into life-changing money. That's the magic and the suspense of hunting for old wheat pennies. Here's another twist. Many 1944 pennies were accidentally struck on the wrong planchet. A few 1944 pennies were struck on leftover 1943 copper planchets, and those are incredibly rare. Only a handful exist, and they've sold for over $100,000 in top condition. Imagine casually finding a coin like that in a jar. Hidden treasure lying unnoticed for decades. Collectors also obsess over condition. Even dirty pennies can be valuable if they retain original details. Look closely at the wheat stalks on the reverse. Are they well defined? Is the lettering crisp? And always examine the edges and rim for subtle die cracks or doubling. Avoid harsh cleaning. That can destroy value instantly. A 1944 penny in uncirculated condition, with natural red color and sharp detail, can easily sell for $1,500 to $2,000, proving that condition, rarity, and color combine to create big money. Another shocking fact. Some 1944 pennies show a die clash error, where the design from one side is faintly imprinted on the other. These are extremely rare and visually striking. One such coin sold for $5,000 at auction recently. Even tiny anomalies like these can turn a common, old, dirty penny into a life-changing find for collectors. Here's an inspirational story. A retired couple in the UK inherited a box of old coins from a grandparent. Most were unremarkable, just common change, but among them was a 1944 D double die penny. They had no idea what it was at first, but after a professional appraisal, it sold for $3,500. That single coin transformed a casual inheritance into big money, showing that hidden treasure can appear in the most unexpected places. Before we finish, here's a cliffhanger. There's an ultra-rare 1944 penny struck on a 1943 bronze planchet that has only appeared a handful of times in history. The last known example sold for nearly $150,000. Could one of these be hiding in your collection right now, waiting to be discovered? Only one way to find out. Grab that jar of old pennies. Examine every 1944 wheat penny carefully, and look for mint marks, double dies, off-center strikes, unusual coloring, or die clash errors. Each tiny detail could unlock hidden treasure worth hundreds, thousands, or even life-changing money. Don't wait, check your coins now, and hit that subscribe button, because we uncover coins worth big money, secrets hidden in plain sight, and stories that could change your collection forever. Your next hidden treasure. Stop what you're doing for a moment and picture this. You're digging through a dusty old jar of coins tucked away in your attic, and your fingers brush against a 1952 wheat penny. It's grimy, worn, old, and dirty, barely recognizable. But what if I told you that this tiny coin could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars, maybe even life-changing money, if it's the right variety? Today, we're uncovering the shocking secrets of the 1952 old dirty wheat penny, a coin that has collectors in the US and UK scrambling for hidden treasure, and one small mistake at the mint could make it big money in your hands. The story of the 1952 wheat penny begins in a time of transition. America was in the post-World War II era, prosperity was rising, and pennies were the pulse of everyday transactions. They passed from hand to hand, were dropped in jars, and collected in drawers, often unnoticed. Most were ordinary, but some carried subtle minting anomalies that decades later turned them into treasures worth life-changing sums of money. The old dirty look, that's the cloak that hides their true potential, a disguise that has fooled generations of collectors. Now let's talk value. A standard 1952 wheat penny in circulated condition might only fetch a few cents. But certain varieties, especially error coins or those in exceptional condition, can be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. Take the 1952 double die obverse, one of the most famous error varieties. Coins like these have sold at auction for $2,500 to $6,000, depending on the strength of the doubling and overall condition. And if you were to stumble upon an ultra-rare 1952 off-center strike or repunched mint mark, your single penny could easily fetch $1,500 to $4,000, transforming a dusty old coin into hidden treasure. So how do you know if your 1952 penny is the real deal? First, check the date, 1952. Next, the mint mark. The D for Denver is crucial, as some Denver-minted pennies carry subtle errors that increase value. Examine the color. Reddish-brown or deep copper often indicates a higher-grade coin. Look closely at the rim and edges. Any irregularities, die cracks, or doubling could signal a rare variety. And then the lettering. On the 1952 double die obverse, the date and the word Liberty will appear slightly doubled. That tiny detail can turn a coin that looks ordinary into big money. Here's a jaw-dropping auction story. In 2018, a collector in Pennsylvania stumbled upon a 1952 double die while going through loose change. He had it graded professionally, and at auction, it sold for $3,200. One small penny, long ignored, became life-changing money in a single sale. That's the thrill of hunting wheat pennies. They're more than coins. They're hidden treasure just waiting to be discovered. Another fascinating fact. Some 1952 pennies were struck with repunched mint marks, where the D was stamped twice slightly off-center. These errors are rare and can sell for $1,500 to $3,000 depending on condition. And then there are off-center strikes, where the design isn't fully centered on the coin. Some of these 1952 pennies have sold for $2,000 to $4,000, turning a common penny into big money. Condition is everything. Even old dirty pennies can be valuable if they retain sharp details. Check the wheat stalks on the reverse. Are they crisp and well-defined? Examine the edges for die cracks or anomalies. Avoid harsh cleaning. It can ruin the coin's value instantly. A 1952 penny in uncirculated condition with natural red coloring could easily sell for $1,500 to $2,500, showing how condition, rarity, and subtle errors combine to create life-changing money. Here's another shocking fact. Some 1952 pennies exhibit a die clash error, where the design from one side faintly appears on the other. These are incredibly rare, visually striking, and highly collectible. One such penny sold for $2,800 at auction. Even coins that seem dirty or ordinary can hide hidden treasure, proving that every detail counts. Let's reset attention with another jaw-dropping detail. The 1952 double die obverse is famous among collectors for its dramatic doubling on the date and lettering. Even pennies that appear ordinary to the untrained eye can have doubling strong enough to fetch $5,000 or more ***. That's one small coin turning into big money, a story that still shocks collectors today. Here's an inspirational story. A retired couple in the UK inherited a box of coins from their grandparents. Among the dusty, old pennies was a 1952 double die obverse. They had no idea what it was at first, but after professional grading, it sold for $3,800. That single coin transformed a forgotten collection into life-changing money, showing that the most valuable coins are often hiding in plain sight. Before we finish, here's a cliffhanger. There's an ultra-rare 1952 wheat penny with an off-center double die *** that has only appeared a handful of times in history. The last one sold for nearly $6,000. Could one be sitting in your jar of coins right now, waiting to be discovered? There's only one way to find out. Grab that jar of old pennies. Examine every 1952 wheat penny carefully, and look for mint marks, double dies, off-center strikes, unusual coloring, and die clash errors. Each tiny detail could unlock hidden treasure worth hundreds, thousands, or even life-changing money. Don't wait, check your coins now. And subscribe to our channel, because we uncover coins worth big money, secrets hidden in plain sight, and stories that could transform your collection forever. Your next hidden treasure might be closer than you think. Stop everything for a second and picture this. You're digging through a dusty old jar of coins, maybe left over from your grandparents, and your fingers brush against a small, grimy 1953 wheat penny. At first, it looks ordinary, old, dirty, forgotten. But what if I told you that this tiny coin could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars, maybe even life-changing money, depending on what secrets it hides? Today, we're diving deep into the 1953 old dirty wheat penny, a coin that has collectors in the US and UK racing to find hidden treasure in the most unsuspecting places. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and why one penny could be big money in your hands. The story of the 1953 wheat penny is tied to a fascinating moment in history. The United States was emerging from post-World War II recovery. Everyday Americans relied heavily on pennies for daily transactions, and coins like this one passed from pocket to pocket, often without a second thought. Few could imagine that decades later, these humble pennies, buried in drawers, couch cushions, or coin jars, could be worth life-changing sums of money. And the mystery lies in that old dirty look. Hidden beneath the grime could be a coin with rare features or errors that make collectors stop in their tracks. Now, let's talk numbers. A standard 1953 wheat penny in average circulated condition might only fetch a few cents. But a coin with certain rare attributes, mint mark anomalies, color, or error varieties, can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. For instance, a high-grade 1953 wheat penny has been known to sell at auction for over $250 to $400, but a coin with a rare double die or off-center strike can jump that value dramatically. And if you were to stumble upon a 1953 penny with an exceptional error like a repunched mint mark, that coin could easily fetch $1,000 to $3,000 or more. Imagine holding one of those pennies in your hand, a single piece of metal that could transform a collection overnight into big money. So how do you know if your 1953 penny is worth more than it seems? First, check the date, 1953. Then look at the mint mark. The D for Denver is critical because some Denver minted pennies have subtle variations that make them more valuable. Next, examine the color. Reddish-brown or deep copper often indicates a coin in higher condition. Look closely at the rim and edges for irregularities. Any doubling, die cracks, or off-center strikes could mean you're holding a rare variety worth life-changing money. Here's a shocking fact. The 1953 wheat penny has several known error varieties that send collectors into a frenzy. One of the most famous is the double die obverse, where the date or lettering appears doubled. Depending on condition, these coins can sell for $1,000 to $2,500. Then there's the off-center strike, a coin where the design isn't perfectly centered. Some of these 1953 pennies have sold for $500 to $4,000 at auction. And don't overlook the re-punched mint mark, where the D was stamped twice slightly off-center. That seemingly tiny mistake can turn a common penny into a hidden treasure. Here's an attention-resetting auction story. A collector in Ohio recently found a 1953 D wheat penny in a bag of mixed coins. At first, he thought it was worthless. But when he took a closer look, he realized it had a faint doubled die. After grading, it sold at auction for $1,200. One small coin, long forgotten, became life-changing money in just one sale. Another fascinating twist. Some 1953 D pennies were accidentally struck on incorrect planchets or display slight metal composition anomalies. These mistakes are extremely rare, and when they appear, collectors call them unicorn coins. One such penny recently sold for $2,500, proving that even coins that seem dirty or worn can hide hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Condition is everything with the 1953 D wheat penny. Even an old dirty penny can be valuable if it retains clear detail. Check the wheat stalks on the reverse. Are they sharp and well-defined? Is the lettering crisp? Examine the edges for die cracks or tiny anomalies. Avoid aggressive cleaning. It can destroy value instantly. A 1953 D penny in excellent uncirculated condition with natural red coloring could easily fetch $1,500 to $2,000, showing how condition, rarity, and subtle errors combine to create big money. Here's another jaw-dropping fact. Some 1953 D pennies display a die clash error, where the design from one side faintly imprints on the other. These coins are extremely rare and visually striking. One recently sold for $1,800, reminding collectors that hidden treasure is often hiding in plain sight, disguised as an ordinary penny. An inspirational story. A retired couple in the UK inherited a box of coins from their grandparents. Most were unremarkable, old, dirty pennies, until one 1953 D caught their eye. A double die error? Absolutely. They had it graded and sold it at auction for $1,350. That single coin transformed a dusty collection into big money, showing that the most valuable coins often appear when you least expect them. Before we finish, here's a cliffhanger. There's an ultra-rare 1953 D penny with an off-center double die that has only been documented a handful of times in history. The last one sold for nearly $5,000. Could one be sitting in your collection right now, waiting to be discovered? Only one way to find out. Grab that jar of old pennies. Examine every 1953 D wheat penny carefully, and look for mint marks, double dies, off-center strikes, unusual coloring, and die clash errors. Each tiny detail could be the key to unlocking hidden treasure worth hundreds, thousands, or even life-changing money. Don't wait, check your coins now, and subscribe to our channel, because we uncover coins worth big money, secrets hidden in plain sight, and stories that could transform your collection forever. Your next hidden treasure might be closer than you think. Stop what you're doing and imagine this. You're sorting through a dusty jar of old coins, and suddenly your fingers brush against a 1955 wheat penny. It's grimy, worn, forgotten, but what if I told you that tiny coin could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars, maybe even life-changing money if it's one of the rare varieties? Today, we're diving deep into the 1955 old dirty wheat penny, a coin with a mysterious past, shocking potential value, and secrets that collectors in the US and UK are chasing like hidden treasure. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and why one penny could be big money in your hands. The story of the 1955 wheat penny is wrapped in mystery. It was minted during a time when the US was booming post-World War II, and pennies were part of every daily transaction. People didn't think twice about them. They were tucked into jars, dropped in couch cushions, or passed from hand to hand. Most of these coins were ordinary, but a few slipped through with subtle errors or unique minting quirks that decades later would make them incredibly valuable. Some of these old, dirty pennies were literally hiding hidden treasure in plain sight, waiting for someone with eagle eyes to notice. Now, let's talk potential value. A regular 1955 wheat penny might be worth just a few cents. But certain varieties, especially the infamous 1955 double die obverse, can sell for thousands of dollars. In fact, a 1955 double die obverse penny in excellent condition, recently sold at auction for $50,000. Yes, one tiny coin in your hand could literally be worth life-changing money. And even less dramatic errors, like off-center strikes or repunched mint marks, can fetch $1,000 to $5,000 depending on condition. Imagine finding a coin like that in a jar of pennies you thought were worthless. Asterisk, asterisk, big money, asterisk, asterisk, just lying there. So how do you spot one? First, check the date, 1955. Then look for the mint mark, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or no mint mark for Philadelphia. Next, examine the color. Reddish-brown or deep copper often indicates a higher-grade coin. Now focus on the edges and rim. Any doubling, die cracks, or irregularities could indicate an error variety. And don't forget the lettering. On the 1955 double die obverse, you'll see a noticeable separation or doubling of the words Liberty and the date. That small detail can mean life-changing money. Here's a shocking auction story to reset your attention. In 2019, a collector found a 1955 double die obverse penny in a batch of coins at a local flea market. He had no idea what it was at first, but after professional grading, it sold at auction for $42,000. One small penny, long ignored, became hidden treasure overnight. That's the thrill of hunting for old wheat pennies. They're the ultimate treasure hunt. Another fascinating fact, some 1955 pennies show repunched mint marks, where the D or S was stamped twice slightly off-center. These are much rarer than ordinary pennies and can sell for $1,500 to $3,000, and then there are off-center strikes, where the design is partially missing. These can fetch $2,000 to $4,000 depending on size and condition. Every tiny anomaly can turn a coin that looks ordinary into big money. Condition is crucial. Even old, dirty pennies can be valuable if the details are intact. Check the wheat stalks on the reverse. Are they sharp and defined? Examine the lettering and date carefully. A coin that has retained its original detail and color, even if it's slightly worn, could be worth hundreds to thousands of dollars. Avoid harsh cleaning. Aggressive cleaning destroys value. A naturally aged penny in great condition could transform into life-changing money for the right collector. Here's another jaw-dropping fact. Some 1955 pennies exhibit a die clash error, where the design from one side faintly appears on the other. These rare coins are visually striking, and one sold recently for $3,200. The lesson is clear. Even coins that look ordinary or dirty can hide hidden treasure if you know where to look. Let's reset attention again. The 1955 double die obverse is so famous that even novice collectors recognize it, yet it's still rare enough that only a small percentage of pennies from that year have the doubling strong enough to be valuable. If you hold a 1955D or 1955S with clear doubling, you could easily see $5,000 or more at auction. That's one small penny turning into big money, a story that never fails to shock collectors. Here's an inspirational story. A retired couple in the UK inherited a box of old coins from their grandparents. Most were ordinary pennies, but one 1955 double die obverse caught their eye. After grading, it sold for $45,000. That single coin turned a dusty inheritance into life-changing money, proving that hidden treasure can appear when you least expect it. Before we wrap up, here's a cliffhanger. There's an ultra-rare 1955 wheat penny struck on an incorrect planchet that has only appeared a handful of times in history. The last known example sold for nearly $60,000. Could one of these be hiding in your coin jar right now, waiting to be discovered? There's only one way to find out. Grab that jar of old pennies. Examine every 1955 wheat penny carefully, and look for mint marks, double dies, off-center strikes, unusual coloring, or die clash errors. Each tiny detail could unlock hidden treasure worth hundreds, thousands, or even life-changing money. Don't wait. Check your coins now, and subscribe to our channel, because we uncover coins worth big money, secrets hidden in plain sight, and stories that could transform your collection forever. Your next hidden treasure might be closer than you think. Stop what you're doing for just a second and imagine this. You're rifling through a dusty old jar of coins, and your fingers brush against a 1957 D wheat penny. At first, it looks grimy, worn, old and dirty, completely unremarkable, But what if I told you that this tiny coin could be worth hundreds, thousands, maybe even life-changing money today? We're uncovering the secrets of the 1957 old dirty wheat penny, a coin with a mysterious past, rare errors, and potential hidden treasure that collectors are chasing across the US and UK. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot it and why one small penny could mean big money in your collection. The story of the 1957 wheat penny is wrapped in history and mystery. America was deep in the post-war era, prosperity was on the rise, and pennies like this were the lifeblood of everyday transactions. They slipped through pockets, drawers, and coin jars often unnoticed. Most were ordinary, but a few were struck with subtle anomalies at the Denver Mint. Decades later, those anomalies turned them into coveted collector's items, capable of commanding life-changing sums. And here's the fascinating part. The old dirty appearance isn't a drawback, it's a disguise. Beneath grime and wear, your penny could be hiding hidden treasure. Now, let's talk numbers. A standard 1957 wheat penny in average circulated condition might only be worth a few cents. But certain varieties, especially error coins, can sell for hundreds or thousands of dollars. The most famous is the 1957 double die obverse, where the date or lettering appears doubled. In high-grade condition, these coins have sold at auction for $2,500 to $5,000, and if you find a coin with an off-center strike or a repunched mint mark, you could easily see $1,500 to $4,000. One tiny penny can transform a dusty collection into big money overnight. So how can you tell if your 1957 penny is valuable? Start with the date, 1957. Look for the mint mark. The D for Denver is key, as subtle minting variations can increase value. Examine the color. Reddish-brown or deep copper often indicates a higher-grade coin. Look closely at the rim and edges. Any doubling, die cracks, or irregularities could indicate a rare error. And check the lettering. On a double die obverse, the words Liberty and the date will appear slightly doubled. That small detail could mean life-changing money. Here's a jaw-dropping story to reset your attention. In 2020, a collector in Texas found a 1957 wheat penny in a jar of coins he thought were worthless. When he examined it more closely, he noticed subtle doubling on the date. He had it professionally graded, and it sold at auction for $3,000. One small penny, long ignored, became hidden treasure *** overnight. That's the thrill of hunting wheat pennies. They're more than coins. They're opportunities for big money. Another fascinating fact. Some 1957 pennies were struck with repunched mint marks, where the D was stamped twice, slightly off-center. These errors are rare and can sell for $1,500 to $3,000 depending on condition. And then there are off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing. These 1957 pennies have sold for $2,000 to $4,000. Every tiny anomaly can turn a common coin into hidden treasure. Condition is everything. Even old dirty pennies can hold incredible value if the details remain intact. Look at the wheat stalks on the reverse. Are they sharp and defined? Examine the lettering and date carefully. Avoid aggressive cleaning, which can destroy a coin's value instantly. A naturally aged 1957 penny in excellent condition could sell for $1,500 to $2,500, proving that condition, rarity, and subtle errors combine to create life-changing money. Here's another shocking fact. Some 1957 pennies show a die clash error, where the design from one side faintly appears on the other. These coins are extremely rare, visually striking, and highly collectible. One recently sold for $2,800 at auction, reminding us that even old, dirty pennies can hide hidden treasure if you know where to look. Let's reset attention again. The 1957 double die obverse is among the most famous varieties for collectors. Even pennies that seem ordinary can have strong doubling that fetches $5,000 or more ***. That's one small coin turning into big money, a story that continues to shock collectors decades later. Here's an inspirational story. A retired couple in the UK inherited a box of coins from their grandparents. Most were ordinary, but one 1957 double die obverse caught their eye. After grading and selling it at auction, It went for $3,500. That single coin transformed a dusty inheritance into life-changing money, proving that hidden treasure can appear when you least expect it. Before we finish, here's a cliffhanger. There's an ultra-rare 1957 D penny with an off-center double die that has only appeared a handful of times in history. The last known example sold for nearly $6,000. Could one be hiding in your jar of coins right now, waiting to be discovered? There's only one way to find out. Grab that jar of old pennies. Examine every 1957 D wheat penny carefully, and look for mint marks, double dies, off-center strikes, unusual coloring, and die clash errors. Each tiny detail could unlock hidden treasure worth hundreds, thousands, or even life-changing money. Don't wait. Check your coins now, and subscribe to our channel, because we uncover coins worth big money, secrets hidden in plain sight, and stories that could transform your collection forever. Your next hidden treasure might be closer than you think.